we're doing a road vlog. I got a new contraption to hold my phone, which is great for traveling, which is obviously what I'm doing right now. And for the Waze app that I'm obsessed with and now cannot travel without, if I have it up here where I can see it, which is my passenger visor, I can just look over. But it's a while till my exit. I am headed to Concord, which is, I've never been there, for MouseCon, which is a really big deal. I am going in the vein of Rebecca's Collectables, which is my business, which I thought I would talk a little bit about. For those of you who don't know, that may be new to the channel, in 2015, my husband passed away unexpectedly in a motorcycle accident. I'll link the vlog about that below. And I was 30, 29, 30, I don't know. I was somewhere in there. And Roxy, my daughter, was 18 months. And I was a stay-at-home mom. And then in an instant, a single mom without a job. So, yeah, I had to get something going real quick. Luckily, Dean was, you know, the kind of guy who made sure he had life insurance, and, you know, there was other stuff coming through, so we weren't, you know, without. But money is very fluid. Money comes and goes, and so after the initial help I was lucky enough to get, I had to figure out how I was going to take care of us on my own. So prior to everything falling apart, I got really into Disney pin trading through my sister-in-law, and it's kind of, well, I guess probably collecting anything can get pretty intense. I have found that Disney people get, you know, pretty intense. So I got really into that really quickly and ended up with, you know, 5 or 6 pin boards, which are just big cork boards of pins, thousands of dollars worth of pins. And then it kind of started expanding into Funko Pops, which is yet another collectible. They're vinyl figures, if you don't know. I started collecting those, and then started collecting dolls, and it just, before I knew it, in the house we used to live in, the whole middle of the house was like a toy store. I had shelves and displays, and I was just a Disney freak, which I had always been, but it was now channeled through collectibles. I've always collected stuff forever, and since I was a kid, I would collect things, and now I just am a grown-up kid. So I still love Disney, and it just got right into that Disney fanatic, collectible kind of person. So fast forward to, you know, hell on earth when I had to figure out what I was gonna do. I thought, okay, well, in the meantime, I have way too much of this Disney stuff. I'm just gonna sell some of it off. I had been trading a lot, you know, of stuff, and just thought, okay, well, I'll open an eBay account and sell some of it. So I quickly learned that it sells, and it sells very well. And I'm lucky enough to where I live in a part of California where it's reasonable for me to drive to Disneyland a couple times a year. I'm about 4 to 5 hours away, but you know, that's a lot closer than most people. And so I had a lot of stuff that I'd gotten at the parks or traded for or whatever, and I started selling it. And then I realized, wow, this is lucrative. This could be something. That's kind of how Rebecca's Collectables was born. I realized, hey, let me just see if maybe this could be a job. So when I moved from the house that we had lived in into a different house in the same town, just me and my daughter, and of course the dog Maya, I got my business license. That had been about, that was October, so June, July, August, September, about 5 months after Dean's accident. I had gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to start my own business. And not just selling my things, but I realized that there's really a market, if you will, for people that want to get rid of their collectibles. And so I got enough people that kind of had a steady stream of stuff they were selling off, and I was able to get to a point where I could start getting things wholesale, and just I had a lot of different avenues that I had established for new stock and things like that. And so I started a business, and I got my business license. I will insert a picture quickly of when that happened. And so there was Rebecca's Collectables, and I literally had no idea what I was doing. I knew I wanted to start a business. I knew I wanted to create my own career. My history had made it very clear to me that I'm not good at having authority over me. I can do it, but I don't do it well. I'm not a worker bee. And even in jobs I've had where I've been in management, I'm really not happy anywhere in corporate America, or you know, a hierarchy or a pyramid. I like to do my own thing, and so I prayed on it, and I, you know, was blessed with an opportunity. So that was October 2015, so just a year ago, and it's just been great ever since. And over the last year, I really focused on growing my brand and establishing myself in my eBay store, which my online sales have been the focus over the last year. Now it's growing, but over the last year, I worked on online sales, and there's a lot of bad with eBay, and there's a lot of good with eBay. Obviously for me, it was what I needed at the time, and still heavily rely on it now to keep a business going. And what I will say, a good thing about it is in my lifestyle, I kind of feel like I'm a pair of wet pants in the dryer the last year, just kind of getting thrown around and hitting the walls and going in circles, and so where that connects to eBay is, you know, at least in my experience, the more effort you put into your eBay store, which is really with any business, the more you're going to get out of it. So, and that kind of is twofold. On the one hand, when I have the time to, you know, put a ton of listings up, or start a promotion, or market and things like that, I do that, and I, you know, have an increase in sales. But on the other side, when I don't have time to do anything, or do very little, which being a single mom and owning my own business and just life, I mean, everybody gets busy, and eBay can kind of maintain. I mean, so long as I have my listings, and I can make sure I have at least time to package things up and get them out in the mail, it can be pretty self-sufficient, so that I still have some income when I can't necessarily put in 8 hours a day. And when I say 8 hours a day, that's very loose, because I don't ever have a straight 8 hours. I have a almost 3-year-old. I don't have, you know, a straight 8 minutes. So, but cumulatively, you know, that's also a big thing I've had to figure out over the last year. Working from home is a whole new ball game. You know, you're at home, you have your distractions. For me, I have my kid, and I've had to learn how to get that 8 hours in a day, or the equivalent, and still be a mom, and still take care of a household, and still be a human, be a woman. And I still haven't mastered that, but I've certainly grown in that and worked really hard at it. And so it's just kind of, it is what it is. I mean, I have good days, I have bad days as far as, the business, but online selling has given me this, amazing opportunity. Now, to be, fair and honest, there is a lot of bad to eBay. I mean, the fees I pay are astronomical, and when you get into PayPal and things like that, you're paying fees. A lot of your money's not there. So my camera totally stopped recording. I'm not sure when. I think another reason why I'm so passionate about online selling is it has a lot to do with my social anxiety and my mental illness, which was only exacerbated by, epic loss and grief. And so that's a whole different vlog. But when I started Rebecca's Collectables, my 5-year plan was, to eventually have a store, an actual, brick and mortar. And that's always been a dream of mine. And my dreams have kind of always been, veiled by mental illness, and I limited myself. And I realized that as, a grown-ass woman at this point, that I don't want to do that anymore. So that's where things like this convention and some of the awesome opportunities I've been blessed to get that are coming up in the next few months to really grow Rebecca's Collectables is branching out into person-to-person sales, which is scary to me. And I've done a few smaller scale shows in my hometown, but nothing like this convention. And I'm scared. People scare me, and I just have to go for it. I'm not gonna let my mind control my ability to thrive, and that's been huge over the last year. Not only can mental illness be life-limiting, grief is life-limiting, and but it doesn't have to be forever. And I would say it's life-altering forever, but it doesn't have to limit you forever. At least that's how I feel about my grief. Everybody's grief is different. So, and everybody's mental illness is different. But for me, my grief and my mental illnesses, there's plenty on the list. They kind of become one thing, and kind of has become my opponent, if you will. And I'm not willing to let that beast control my life. And that's easier said than done, and who's kidding who? It does to a large degree, but I'm branching out. This is my career. This is my dream at this point. This is my livelihood. This is my daughter's livelihood. It's what I want to do, and I enjoy it. And my dad had always told me, success is not, you cannot put a dollar sign on success. True success is doing something that you would do for free but make a living. So I'm well on my way to, well, I pretty much am. I mean, I'm making a living doing this, and I'm getting by, but I would like to be more than getting by. And that's where I'm headed, and that's success in my mind, because I love doing this. You know, like I said, there's parts I don't love, but I'm trying to grow in that aspect. But I love collectibles. I love when I get an email from a customer about, you know, or even pictures on Facebook of someone's 8-year-old little girl with her, you know, bag of 200 shotguns I sent, or, you know, a message on eBay saying, you know, thank you for sending that Funko Pop, you know, overseas where my son's in the military because I couldn't get his birthday present to him. You know, it's as much as people scare me, they're at the heart of what I do. And that's what it's all about. So, and branching out is the next step, and delving into the world of person-to-person interaction is what's come next now. And I'm very thankful that I'm in a place where I feel confident enough to, you know, throw myself into something like MouseCon. I mean, this is big, and I am going to have the opportunity to network. I'm only 2 hours from home, and anyone in business knows networking is a huge part of business and being successful. And so it's a great next step, and I think the more I do it, the more comfortable I will become, and that's gonna lead me into, you know, the next step, which is really thinking and planning for a store, which, you know, I've always said I couldn't do, or I've never said it, but in my mind, I told myself I could never do it because of my anxiety and my fear of people and my, you know, just, but I've realized, you know, and it's hard to talk about yourself, but I've realized from a lot of different things that have happened over the last year, and, you know, some of the classes I've taken and therapy I've done and all this stuff, that I'm not, that I limit myself, and I'm not as limited as I let myself believe, if that makes sense. Like I'm my own worst enemy, and it's still hard for me to even grasp what I've done over the last year, and the fact that I made a business. I started a business in the midst of the worst possible thing that can happen happened, and I didn't quit. And I mean, there were days I certainly did, but in the larger sense, I did not quit. And I, you know, I have to accept that that's an achievement, and it's sad that it's hard for me to accept my achievements, but that's that monster, that's that self-doubt, that's that anxiety, robbing me of, you know, my joy, something that I've done that I should be really happy about, and I am, but I'm pushing through that, or trying to, and that feels good, and that's okay. And it's sad that you know, that's what mental illness does to people, and I don't want it to anymore. So so I'm on my way to MouseCon, and we'll see how it goes. I have my car packed to the brim. Literally, I have this space. I think I'm gonna need to either get one of those trailers you pull, or rent a U-Haul or something. But this is just insane, this car. And very difficult to do. I was way more organized than usual. I've spent the last week and a half labeling everything and prepping everything, so I feel prepared. I feel good about it. Scared, very scared, and very overwhelmed, but you know, this is the next step for my business, and really for my life, in my personal life. You know, I've put myself in isolation, and I don't think that's bad. I don't regret that. I feel like it's what I had to do to get by and through everything. But I'm giving myself permission to